As the night deepens and the stars begin to twinkle outside your window, let us gently close our eyes and prepare our hearts for a journey. A journey not through bustling cities or grand adventures, but into a tale of profound peace, divine mercy, and unwavering faith. A story whispered through time from the glorious Qur'an about a group of young men known as the sleepers of the cave, Ashaab al-Kahf. Breathe in gently and breathe out slowly, feeling the peaceful rhythm of your breath. As we begin, imagine, if you will, a time long, long ago, in a land where the sun shone brightly and life moved at a different pace. It was a time when many people had forgotten the one Creator, worshipping idols and statues made with their own hands. But even in such times, there were always hearts that longed for truth, souls that sought the divine light. In this land lived a group of young men. They were not ordinary young men. Their hearts were filled with a pure and luminous faith in Allah, the one God. They saw the idols, they saw the empty rituals, and their hearts ached for the truth. They knew, deep within their souls, that there could only be one Creator, one Sustainer of all existence. Perhaps they met in secret, sharing their quiet convictions, finding comfort and strength in each other's belief. They were brave, for it was dangerous to hold such beliefs openly in their city. The ruler, a powerful king named Decius, was cruel to those who dared to worship differently. Imagine their conversations, perhaps quiet whispers under the moonlight, reaffirming their faith, drawing closer to Allah with every beat of their pure hearts. One day the pressure became too great. The king demanded that everyone worship his idols. He threatened those who refused with harsh punishments. For these young men, it was a moment of profound decision. Would they compromise their faith, or would they stand firm? Their faith was not a small thing. It was the very essence of their being. They chose Allah. They chose truth over convenience, belief over worldly fear. They decided, with heavy but resolved hearts, to leave their homes, their families, and the city they knew, not in anger, but in a profound act of trust in Allah. They sought refuge, not in another city, but in a place where they could truly be alone with their Creator. So under the cloak of night, or perhaps in the quiet hours of dawn, they slipped away. Their steps were light, though their hearts carried the weight of separation. They walked, not knowing exactly where they were going, but knowing who they were walking towards, Allah. They journeyed until they found it, a cave, a quiet, secluded cave nestled in the side of a mountain, a place that seemed to offer solace and safety, a sanctuary from the storm outside. They entered this cave, seeking not just shelter from the king, but shelter for their souls, a place where they could worship Allah freely, undisturbed. As they settled into the quiet stillness of the cave, they made a beautiful dua, a prayer to Allah. They said, "Our Lord, grant us mercy from your presence and fashion for us a right course in our affair." And with this heartfelt prayer, a profound peace began to descend upon them. As their prayer ascended, Allah, the all-hearing, the all-knowing, responded. A deep, profound sleep began to envelop them. Not an ordinary sleep, but a miraculous slumber, orchestrated by divine will. Imagine the gentle closing of their eyes, one by one, their breaths becoming deep and regular, their bodies finding complete rest. The Qur'an tells us that Allah cast a heavy sleep upon their ears in the cave for a number of years. This was not just sleep. It was a divine act of preservation, a shielding from the passage of time. And with them, their loyal companion, a dog, lay stretched at the entrance guarding them. its paws extended, also entering this extraordinary state of rest. Mindfulness prompt. Notice the gentle slowing of your own breath, the peaceful weight of your limbs, allowing yourself to sink deeper into comfort, just like the sleepers of the cave. While they slept, the sun continued its daily journey across the sky, but even the sun's rays were divinely managed for them. The Qur'an describes how the sun, when it rose, inclined away from their cave, and when it set, it passed them by. So the cave remained cool, untouched by the harsh glare of the sun, protecting their bodies. And from time to time Allah caused them to turn from side to side, protecting their bodies from stiffness, ensuring their comfort, even in this deep, deep slumber. Years passed, decades passed. The world outside the cave changed dramatically. Kings rose and fell, empires transformed. But inside the cave, time seemed to stand still for these young men, held in a bubble of divine protection. Imagine the quiet stillness inside the cave, only the softest echoes of the wind outside, the gentle rustle of leaves, but inside, perfect, unchanging peace. Why did Allah cause them to sleep for so long? This was a sign, a powerful miracle for humanity to ponder upon. It was to show the immense power of Allah, who can keep bodies preserved and minds intact across centuries. It was also to show humanity that even when it seems faith is lost or truth is suppressed, Allah's plan is always unfolding. He protects His sincere servants in ways we cannot comprehend. Their sleep was not an escape. It was a profound act of trust and a divine answer to their prayer for mercy and guidance. They simply surrendered, and Allah took care of the rest. We are told they slept for 300 years, and some say 9 more. An unimaginable span of time for a human being. Then, after what seemed like an eternity to the world outside, but perhaps only a short rest to them, Allah awakened them. Imagine the first gentle stir, a deep breath, the slow opening of eyelids, perhaps a stretch. There was no confusion, no disorientation, just a return to consciousness. They began to speak to each other, their voices soft and sleepy. "How long have we slept?" one of them asked. Another replied, "Perhaps a day, or part of a day." They looked around the cave, familiar yet somehow subtly different. They felt rested, refreshed, as if they had only had a long afternoon nap. Soon hunger stirred within them. One of them suggested, "Let one of us go to the city with this silver coin of ours, and let him see which food is purest and bring us some of it, and let him be careful and not let anyone know about us." This was an important mission. So one of them, named Yamlika, took a coin from their time and carefully made his way out of the cave into the sunlight. As he approached the city, a strange feeling began to settle over him. The buildings looked different, the people dressed differently, their language seemed to have changed subtly. A profound sense of bewilderment washed over him. He heard whispers of "Allah is one" from the passers-by, and saw symbols of faith he hadn't seen before. The city had changed. It was now a city where the truth of Allah was openly acknowledged. He tried to buy food, offering his ancient coin. The shopkeeper looked at it with astonishment. "Where did you get this ancient coin?" "It belongs to a time long, long ago." Slowly, gently, the truth began to unfold. Yamlika, and then the others, came to understand the miracle that had occurred. They had slept for centuries. The world had moved on, and Allah had protected them as a sign. This revelation was not terrifying, but wondrous. It solidified their faith even more, showing them the immense power and wisdom of Allah. They were living proof of the Quranic promise that Allah can do all things, and that the promise of the hour is true. The people of the city, once they understood, were in awe. This was a direct sign from Allah confirming their faith and reminding them of the truth of resurrection. The sleepers of the cave, having fulfilled their purpose as a living sign, were then gently taken back by Allah, their miraculous story forever etched in history and in the Holy Qur'an. The story of Ashaab al-Kahf is a gentle reminder of many profound truths. It reminds us of the immense power of Allah, who can preserve life, manipulate time, and bring about His will in ways beyond our comprehension. There is truly nothing beyond His power. It teaches us about the profound reward for sincerity and unwavering faith. These young men sought refuge in Allah, and He provided them with the most extraordinary protection and a lasting legacy. It teaches us that sometimes, when facing overwhelming challenges, the best course of action is to surrender to Allah, to seek His refuge and trust in His plan, just as they did. Their story is a beacon of hope for believers throughout time, reminding us that no matter how dark the circumstances, Allah is always there, always watching, always protecting His servants. This tale also whispers to us about patience, Sabr. They waited unknowingly for centuries, and Allah's plan unfolded perfectly. Sometimes in our own lives we are asked to be patient, to trust that good will come even when we cannot see the path. It's a reminder to surrender, to let go of control, and to place our ultimate trust in the divine. Think of the peace they must have felt in their deep sleep, free from the worries of the world, cared for by the most merciful. This is a glimpse of the ultimate peace that comes from complete reliance on Allah. As this beautiful story settles in your heart, take a deep, calming breath. Inhale peace. Exhale any lingering worries or tensions. Remember the sleepers of the cave, their unwavering faith, and Allah's boundless mercy. May their story inspire peace in your heart and strengthen your trust in Allah. May your sleep be deep, restful, and filled with tranquility. As you drift into your own peaceful slumber, know that you are cared for, protected, and loved. Sleep peacefully in the remembrance of Allah. Good night.